everyone, and welcome to another tutorial with Zenphi. In today's tutorial, we're going to be going over a flow that's perfect for your IT department. We're going to be going over this very simple flow that's going to help you handle hardware requests. This is perfect for your IT department to stay on top of all of those requests, whether someone needs a new computer because theirs broke or maybe someone new came in. So this is going to make sure that all of these requests are handled as soon as possible. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The first step to any Zenphi flow is to set up your trigger, which in Zenphi is the action that starts your flow. For this example, we're using the Zenphi form trigger, so you can configure your form to ask as many questions as you think would be necessary for this request. So a quick example for this, we have added department, type of request, category. You can add more or less questions if needed. And in this flow, we're going to be going through two approval processes. First, the manager, and then the actual IT department. So to be able to get the manager's approval, we're going to send a task to them. Now, to be able to personalize the email a bit more, I'm going to go ahead and use these two actions, which are find user as well as find manager. So what this is going to allow us to do is retrieve all of this information for the user who made the request as well as their manager. Now, I like this because it gives us information like their full name. So if you want to use that in an email, you can insert that information dynamically, and it's going to give it a more personalized feel. And then we're going to go ahead and send the task. So we're going to be using our assign task action. Here you can set a task name, task description, you can change the outcome, and then down at the bottom where it says assignee email, we're going to go ahead and get the requester's manager email. And then as you can see here in the body of the email as well as in the subject, I'm using information from the previous actions like their full name, that way the email is personalized. And I'm also adding information from the form. So all of this information as well as these can be added using the token picker, which allows you to insert data from previous steps. So if you open up any of these, you're able to add the responses for these questions, or if you want to access, for example, the manager's name, you can do so like this. Now, depending on if they approved or not, we want to make sure we take different measures. So if they rejected, we want to notify the requester. This is the send email action. We have one for Gmail, we have one for Outlook, so feel free to use whichever one you think would be best for you. Simply set up your connection by clicking on the plus icon to be able to grant Zenphi permission to send emails on your behalf. We're going to be sending it to the initiator, the person who filled out the form, and then down at the bottom you can customize the email. Now keep in mind you can add dynamic information here as well. And then our task action actually has a spot for comments, so if you want to add the reason for rejection like we did here, you can do that. Now what happens if they approve? We're going to proceed to the second task, so we're essentially going to be repeating the process that we just did, but now to a different person. So this is going to be assign task once again, but this time we're going to be sending it to the IT admin. So I have it here in a variable, you can hard code it if you prefer. And then down at the bottom, I'm adding all of this information as well. I'm also mentioning it has already been approved by their manager. And then depending on if it's approved or not, we're going to take different measures. So as we can see here, if it's rejected, we're going to go ahead and send an email once again to the requester along with the details of why it was rejected. And I want to go ahead and assign a task to the IT admin to order the equipment in a maximum of 7 days. So to do that, I'm going to get the maximum order date, which is going to be 7 days after they respond to the task, so 7 days after it's been approved. And I'm going to go ahead and create a task to the IT admin to order the hardware. So ideally, the IT admin would build out this flow, so we would have their connection here, and we can add it to their task list. You can add information to the title. The due date would be the maximum due date, and then you can add notes as well. And then last but not least, I'm going to notify the requester. Here I have also added the IT admin as a copy. And then in the subject and the body, I'm indicating it has been approved, and they will receive a confirmation in the next 7 days, which is essentially the maximum due date that I have set up at the top to order their equipment. And now if we want to run an example, we can go ahead and fill out the form. And as we can see, it has started the flow, and now we have an approval process that we need to go through. And as we can see here, we have the task, so we're able to approve or reject. So if I go ahead and click on approve, we can see that now it has gone to the IT admin. We can see now that it has gone to the IT manager. And now we have the second task. So let's say we reject it, submit, and then here we have the rejection email. Now, if you want to take it one step further, you can make modifications to the flow. You can add different steps if you want to notify maybe via Google Chat, if you want to add everything to a Zenphi table, and you can keep track of the requests in a dashboard. That's also something you can do. You can change it for a state machine. With Zenphi, it's so simple to be able to customize your process to make sure it fits your needs. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down in the comments section, and we'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye-bye.